and welcome to another episode of Focus On with myself, Palesa Mufeking. Today we're reporting from a South African province of Limpopo, where the two-day Limpopo Investment Conference is being held. Now, through the summit, we saw government officials, business experts, as well as investors making big commitments and pledges and promises to establish this province as a key investment hub in South Africa. We had a chance to speak to some of the key stakeholders, and this is what they had to say.
You are here today at the Ranchester 7th administration, as led by Premier Dr. Popiramatu, on the 4th edition of Limpopo Investment Conference. This conference is very important for us to implement one of our priorities of the 7th administration, which is to grow the economy and create jobs for our people. So being here today, we are sure that after this conference, we'll be able to implement some of the dreams that we have at the 7th administration, because there are a lot of investors here who are ready to invest their billions in the province.
The conference was attended by local and international business people and investors, many from China, along with officials of the Limpopo provincial government. The purpose was to spur economic growth by encouraging pledges for domestic and foreign direct investment.
As we gathered here today, it is essential to remind that the 6.6 million people in this province rely on a thriving economy to sustain their lives. The cornerstone of that sustenance is what we aim to achieve through this conference, joining hands with investors to harness the value of our abundant natural resources. The Limpopo Investment Conference remains our flagship program of stimulating our envisaged inclusive economic growth. We are mindful of the many investment conferences that are currently taking place globally on a daily basis. However, our province will outline the value proposition to potential investors embedded in both traditional and new economic growth sectors of our province. We have aligned our comparative advantage to the industrial policy of the province and the national macroeconomic policy imperatives. A program director, just last week, of course, we had a successful meeting with His Excellency, the President of the Republic, President Bomatamela Ramaphosa, and members of his cabinet, including deputy ministers and director generals. The one thing that stood out and remains a pertinent question that the president asked us was, what is it that is preventing Limpopo from succeeding with such rich natural resources? That is, for me, the most critical part of what this conference should be able to answer. What is holding us back as a province? We've done speeches, it's enough. We must make sure that we move away from speeches and start to really turn around the situation of our province, and that together. We are supporting the rollout across all district municipalities to ensure that all underdeveloped regions in all our municipalities are developed to the scale equivalent to their potential for socio-economic transformation. There is no reason why the Letaba Valley, for example, is amongst the largest producer of both avocados and tomatoes, yet it does not have a processing factory in its vicinity. Now, for me, it is that bridge that we would want this conference to build.
This conference is very much important, especially from us, the Department of Agriculture. We are saying this precisely because this is the sector which is contributing about 7.6 to the national GDP and 2.3% of the provincial GDP. Hence, we are saying with the conference of this nature, we are very much delighted by the fact that it's going to unlock all the challenges that we are having pertaining to our small-holding farmers, our emerging farmers, because our main aim is to make sure that when we transform this sector, we want to see ourselves patting ourselves on the shoulders to say, yes, we were able to empower the small-scale farmers so that they should be converted into the commercial farmers.
It's quite important because we have got a national development plan which require us to grow the economy. We also have what we call Limpopo Development Plan, and part of it is that we have put targets for the Limpopo Development Plan to deal with the issues of unemployment, economic growth, as well as tackling the issues of poverty. So this investment is coming to try and deal with those priorities that we have as a province.
I think you'll understand that from the skills point of view, as the Department of Education, our interest would be to say the investors that comes to the province, what type of skills are they going to need in the future? Because you talk tourism, you talk mining, you talk all these things, we can want our learners to learn those subjects, but where do they go, where do they work? Because the skills should be related to the job opportunities that are existing in the province. And I think the conference is just about that. Create those job opportunities, then we are able to also align. But you'll know that Limpopo province, we are a maths and science province. And in that, a lot of investment that comes also need that. But also, some of our schools are also into tourism and hospitality. So if then the investors invest in that space, that means that we are good to go in terms of what we have in our curriculum in our schools.
Speaking at the opening of the conference, Premier Ramathuba emphasized the opportunities the province has to offer.
There are a lot of opportunities in Limpopo. We have almost everything. Whether you go, you come to Limpopo for nature reserves, we have those. Whether you come to Limpopo for mining, we have those. So there are a lot of opportunities that our investors can come and invest in the province. But today I'm here as the MEC responsible for public works, roads and infrastructure in the province to make sure that I make our investors to have a conducive environment in terms of our infrastructure in the province. So we are ready to make sure that we deal with our infrastructure so that they can have drivable roads where they can come and invest in the province.
In your capacity as the MEC for Environment and Tourism, how exactly do you plan to establish Limpopo as a key destination for tourists, international tourists that is?
Limpopo has got very beautiful natural landscapes. You are here, you have seen. And part of what we are saying is that, one, it has got a beautiful natural landscape. It is strategically located. So the package for us in terms of tourism is quite unique. When you go to Waterberg, you have got Waterberg Biosphere, which specializes in wildlife. When you go to Sekhukhune, Sekhukhune has got cultural heritage, is where King Sekhukhune was there. When you go to Mpani, you have got your Kruger National Park and other parks, you have got the Big Five. So in Limpopo, we say we've got Big Six because we also have the Big Three. So part of the Big Six that we have. So Limpopo is a destination of choice and is one of the safest provinces in South Africa. That's we can assure our tourists that when you visit Limpopo, you have visited a very safe tourist destination of choice.
There are very much opportunities, like I've indicated, that we are rich with the raw materials, the natural resources, but what is lacking a little bit with us is the issue of beneficiation. So with the strategic partners that we happen to come across in this conference, I think we are going to unlock that thing of industrialization and beneficiation, and that in itself will contribute towards the growing of our economy, thus creating jobs. And we are very much delighted because for now I've already met various strategic partners who are willing to come to Limpopo. I've met she said the land bank. The land bank, they said the money is sufficient. It's just for us to create an enabling environment for them and be in the position to give them our plans as to how best can they tap into our space. Like we are busy utilizing the issue of the agriculture agro-processing value chain, which is very much important because we are still lacking funds. So most of the farmers did not even know that there is this funding called the blended farming, which will be very much important of them because they will contribute only 20%, while the land bank, through the government, of course, through the department, will be contributing about 80%. So that will mean expanding agriculture at a larger scale will be realized at that particular blended farming that I'm talking about.
Why invest in Limpopo?
I think it's a very exciting opportunity. What I've heard this morning is there's a lot of energy, there's a lot of commitment, and from a business perspective, and I represent the asset management industry, and within the asset management industry, there's also a drive to invest in infrastructure and private equity opportunities with government. So my company is AIP Capital. It's a black-owned, black female managed company. And I want our company to become involved, especially with the role of females in the province and also our female capacity. And my experience in the asset management industry, I think there's a lot of potential investors out of the asset management industry that can get involved in Limpopo. Okay. So much going for this province, and it's important to unlock it from that perspective.
And just in your view, which businesses or opportunities do you think are still untapped at this moment?
One has to look at the specific unique economic opportunities in the province. I personally like agricultural. It's a huge opportunity. I like tourism, especially this part of the country, the bush and all the game. And a lot of the tourism industry is picking up worldwide. And it's important that South Africa also benefit from that global uptick in tourism.
The other area which is critical is the area of mining. We have got mineral deposit. All the mineral deposits that you need are found in Limpopo, from your diamond, gold, copper, platinum, all the PGMs and rare earth minerals. They are found here in Limpopo. So anyone who wants to invest in mining is available. Then you have got tourism. We are also looking at the automotive industry as part of our sunrise area of investment. So automotive in the sense that we are going to be looking at Africa. We have got the north-south corridor in Africa, meaning that when you move from Cape to Cairo, you must pass Limpopo before you reach Cairo. So we are strategically located. So any investment in the SADC region, any investment in Africa, anyone who wants to invest in the whole of the African region must pass by Limpopo. So Limpopo is strategically located. So investors must come here, do assembly, factories, industrialization. We are ready for them.
And working with business, we believe that like now we're looking at the newer sectors, the role players now in terms of opportunities in our province, energy sector, which has been well spoken about. When we look at Limpopo, the abundance of the sunlight, so when you cry of our 45 degrees, business is saying to us that 45 degrees is actually what we need to provide renewable energy. When we look at the hydrogen economy, so for me, automobile industry, you would have had. And then what excites me is that looking at the very same mining sector, we are saying, I think we have done a lot of political speeches and big economic concepts of industrialization, mineral beneficiations. This conference is saying we should stop complicating things. We are simple saying let's add value on our raw materials before we export them. Yeah. And that it sums it all. And I was also excited that the minister was here Minister of Trade and Industry, Minister Pakstow, for him to commit on our 2 SEZ. These are major catalytic projects. And we are saying as a province, what is needed from us, we've done it. And then we just need them to append that signature. The commitment with deadlines. We believe that by the end of this financial year, we will be able to have started in both this SEZ, whether it's Musina Makado, where we are going to be focusing more on manufacturing, looking at the newer energy, renewable energy also, still manufacturing, hydrogen economy, that Musina Makado SEZ, and looking at its strategic location, being the gateway to Africa. And some of the ideas which were brought yesterday, you'll remember Dr. Posa talking about why don't you look at getting it a logistical hub, especially for your fresh vegetables. When you look now, December coming in, you might find that the long queue at the Bait Bridge border, which can take up to 20 kilometers of trucks waiting to cross. But then if you have a logistical hub that side, you know, the high-speed train that has shown a lot of interest. And when commitments come to say, we do have the money, but just bring us bankable projects. The logistical hub within Polokwane Airport, a lot of excitement and a lot of people saying, we are here, we are prepared to support, to fund you. It's up to you, the ball is in your court, but bring bankable projects. Don't just bring thumb sucking, because you as politicians love making speeches. And unfortunately, this is different. We've got a new 7th administration whose commitment is on action orientated rather than making beautiful speeches.
After 2 days of talks, investors had pledged over 120 billion rand in investments. How will these pledges be translated into real investment for the province?
What is most importantly, it's not that people will be making pledges which will be reduced to be a boys club or a boys and girls club, because yes, I've seen more women coming on board, which I'm very excited and proud of, because I know once women get into the front wheel of being captains of industry, the economy of this country can change completely. I'm not undermining the potential amongst the men, but I can tell you, women, if they are given that opportunity, and they are able to run it. So we don't want to reduce it to be a girls and boys a club where you're bragging, I can pledge 50 billion, I can pledge 5, I can pledge. We want to see, and it will, you know, is the premier investment conference. Every single cent which is pledged here, you must know the premier will be monitoring it personally to understand, and I will be calling the chairperson of these boards, their CEOs, to explain what is the problem, why is that project not kickstarting. Because I know during construction phase, more jobs will be created. And even during the implementation, once the project has been completed, construction has been completed, we are going to get even much more jobs. So that is why it's going to be my baby. When I wake up every morning, I will be calling, irritating you. And if you don't want to be irritated, you will implement that pledge you are going. Because what is important is to get all those pledges. If we get, let's say, they give me 100 billion by 2 o'clock today, I would be knowing how much I got. Imagine if I follow every single cent of the 100 billions. People of Limpopo, young people of Limpopo won't be on N1 trying to go to Gauteng to look for greener pastures. They will stay in their province of their ancestors and be able to help grow us. The skills that are being committed to say we're going to develop them.
Are you looking to pledge today?
So in terms of the industry that I'm involved with, there are billions of money that can be invested in project in this country. It's very difficult to say exact pledging, because that will depend on the profitability of the projects. The industry actually manages people's retirement money. So it's also very important that there's a good solid return on that retirement money, and that will be project specific. What we do find in the regulatory environment regarding pension funds, that the regulations are very clear, encouraging infrastructure development. So pension funds are actually encouraged to actually invest a percentage of their assets, their members' assets, in infrastructure, in private equity, in new companies. And a lot of pension funds are still underinvested in those opportunities. So the capacity is there to invest. It's just getting the workable projects and the right pipeline to invest.
So we are here today for more than 100 billion investment that will be getting from our business people that are here today. But we are hopeful because we are even told that our investment conference was oversubscribed. So there were a lot of people who wanted to come here. Some they could not because there was no space. So we are very hopeful that we will reach the target and even more than that.
But also we are looking at investments in green energy and all these other opportunities. Then that opens up doors for us as the Department of Education to have funding in the schools, because alternative subjects we can't do extra lessons beyond what we can be able to fund. So the investors, when they come, it will also be about them funding the curriculum itself, because any mind that will want learners, that means we are going to collaborate on laboratories, we are going to collaborate on classes that are talking to the sector that they belong to. We are going to collaborate with the tourism and agriculture in our agricultural school. So for me, the value really, it cuts across all the sectors.
And as the conference drew to a close, we asked Limpopo officials and investors about the strongest messages shared at the event about the future of investment in the Limpopo province.
The message that our investors should walk away with is that now we're saying Limpopo in my language, dilodi change. So there is stability in the province, there is energy. All our MSCs are hard at work and they are ready to deliver services to our people. There is a conducive environment that even our traditional leaders, for the first time, they are part of this investment conference. They are ready to make sure that if there are issues in the traditional authorities, they can be able to deal with that. So our big churches, both of them are here today to also form part of this investment conference. So there is stability and hope in the new administration, the seventh administration of Limpopo province.
We're saying to them, our doors are always available. I'm going to make sure that I meet with them as early as next week, because we've got many agro-processing plans that we need to unlock. Speaking here, we've got in terms of the agro-processing agroecological zones, we've got Capricorn, which is a potato belt, and when we look at the potato belt, we have got abundance of potato, more especially in Capricorn, especially around the Blowback area. And what fascinates me is that we've got a black potato producer there. I can even mention him. He's just about to be a commercial farmer, the Mr. Ralichena. So he's very much keen on the issue of potato processing, and I've got the business partner from the land bank who are willing to assist us in terms of that. Not only that, but also in terms of our the vegetables, the tomato. We want to make sure that out of the tomato growers that are here, our farmers that are here for tomato growers, of course through the partnership with the Tomato Growers Association, I also got one of the strategic partners here who's willing to make sure that they construct a plant for tomato agro-processing. So this is very much good, and she mentioned the issue of the Vembe area there. So I'm going to sit them on their neck to make sure that they unfold all these greatest opportunities for our economy to thrive and for our people, and more especially the people whom we want to transform, the women and also youth and the persons with disabilities. So these are great opportunities and we're very much excited.
And what message do you hope to walk away with just from this conference this year?
I think the message that came out is that investors are welcome and the money is safe and we will make it work. It's probably one of the most encouraging speeches I heard from a premier in a long time in terms of business and government partnership in developing the province.
Today, I would just want to say to all the investors, indeed, like the Premier said and all the other speakers have said, Limpopo is a place to invest. And I think we have not been fully explored to a level that you can say, if I'm to invest, it will be less than 10 years. You can see the prospect. They are going to be long term. And in a school environment, you start a learner from grade R to grade 12, so you are talking 13 years. So the investment that can come will go a long way in not only creating jobs today, but securing the future of the learners that will still be at school.
What we can tell them is that Limpopo is open for business, and Limpopo is the safest place. We have got regulatory environment that and a very stable province, politically, economically, socially. And if you see, all our stakeholders are here, our mayors, because investment happens in municipalities. We have got traditional leaders. Investment happens in communities. The mines are with the communities. So all of them are here. So everybody has got support. We have got all the support, and Limpopo is open for business.
For me, it's most importantly the energy that we have been able to inject and the interest and the appetite amongst a business community. For us to see them showing that enthusiasm towards supporting Limpopo. That's what actually was our biggest aim and our biggest achievement. It's the fact that there is now commitment to work with Limpopo government, bringing back the confidence of the business community towards the government and its administration. And I think that we are on the right footing, and that's the right start. The issue that I'm trying to emphasize is that there is no option. There's no room for failure for the people of Limpopo. They have been waiting, and this is their time. This is Limpopo's time. So South Africa, allow Limpopo to grow this province and make a huge difference from Limpopo to be what it used to be. We can't continue to be referred as the rural poor. I want by the end of this term no longer be referred as the rural poor, but to say the once rural poor province is now a big girl, because it's led by a woman. It's a big girl in the global markets. That's what we want to see Limpopo being at the end of our term.
And that's all we had for you in this special episode of Focus On, reporting from the land of untapped potential in the city of Polokwane, Limpopo. From myself, Palisa Mufukeng, and the team, it's goodbye for now.